Hi, you're with Chandeep at Goodly once again, and in this video, I'm going to speak about one of the recent dashboards that I've created, which is sort of a calendar dashboard in Excel. Now, if you're managing maybe, let's say, some data which has got to do with dates, so one column is dates, and then you have several other parameters to do with dates and stuff, you can use this calendar dashboard specifically to plot those dates in the form of a calendar and track additional metrics around them. Alright, let's just first take a look at the data, because unless I explain you the data, you would not be able to understand the dashboard. So let's just hop over to the data. So here is what I have, a simple data set. I've got 4 columns here. The first column is date, the second column is the task, the third column is the spent, and the fourth column is the category. Date is simple. That means that on which date did something happen. It could be anything. Task is whatever task that we are undertaking. As of now, this is to do with something like a digital marketing, where on a particular date you are planning a particular task, and how much money are you spending on that task, and is that task a short-term or a long-term part of a strategy. Simple 4-columnar data set. As of now, forget about the date here. I will talk about that later when I specifically start talking about the nuts and bolts of the dashboard as to how did I create it. Alright, let's just move over to the dashboard. Now on the top I have a slicer here, and I could pick up any particular month. On the top, the month of August is selected, and you can see that all the tasks that you are undertaking in the month of August are highlighted. Everywhere where the month is spilling over the month of August, which is where you have September, or is going behind August, which is July, is grayed out. Also, you will see that the other days where there are no activities planned are also grayed out in the month of August, right? And as soon as you change to another month, this will show you the activities of that particular month. So let's just hop over to maybe July, and let's just take a look at how July went. So you click on July, and instantaneously refreshes the dashboard, tells you how many activities did you plan in the month of July, and you get to see the entire metrics. Now, the number that you see against the activity is the total spent of that day. It's not the spent on that particular activity, it's the total spent of that particular day. So let's just take a look at maybe a month where 2 activities are happening on the same day. Take a look at June month. On the 22nd of June, we arranged 2 activities, free ebook and content upgrade, which costed us a total of $51,050, right? So that's the total money spent on that day. Now, apart from the calendar, where you can see how the activities are planned in the calendar format, what you also have on the right hand side is some additional metrics that is going to enrich the insights that you get from the calendar. So the first insight is how much is the total spent in that month. Somebody could ask you that, okay, what is the total of all of these days that you're planning in the calendar? So that is the total of the particular month. Somebody could also ask you that, hey, what was the total last month? So we have the total last month as well, and obviously the change would be the natural thing to calculate. So was there an increase or decrease over last month? So that's the percentage change. Now it also shows you the number of events. So 17 events were planned. Now let me just tell you, the number of events have got nothing to do with the number of days, right? Let me just take a smaller month. Maybe let's just go back to August. So just 10 events. Let's just count. So there are 2 events on the first. So 1 and 2, and then 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10 events. All right. And then obviously, how many events did you plan the last month, and how many no event days are there in the current month? So 23 days were blank in the entire month where no event was planned. And the other thing that I have also calculated is the YTD spend, that until August, how much money have you spent, and where was the maximum money spent, in which month was the maximum money spent. And then you have another slicer for long-term and short-term. You further want to slice this dashboard down to only long-term activities or short-term activities. You can just click on that, and it just slices down, and then you can use this slicer and take a look at only short-term, only long-term activities, and whatnot. All right, let's just get this back. Apart from that, I also have another small little table here this table gives you further breakdown of the events that you're planning. So take a look at this date, which is 22nd of August. The total money that you spent on that particular day was 49,900. But somebody could ask you, hey, how much was only for event speaking, how much was only for guest posts? So that's where you see that event speaking was 26,200, guest post was 23,700. The total of that is 49,900 is what you see it here. So it just enlists down all the activities that you're doing in the current month or in the previous month, and how much did you spend on that. So this is the activities in the total in the current month, these are the activities in the last month, and if there is a change on that. And obviously, how much have you spent throughout the year on all these activities that are showing in the current or the last month. Alright, now let's just take a look at what Excel tactics did I use to create this dashboard. I've particularly used two things in Excel. One is the PowerPivot, which is the DAX formulas, and the second is the native Excel formulas to create the calendar visualizations. All these visuals that you see right here are the native capabilities of Excel. So it's a mix and match of two things: PowerPivot in Excel, the DAX formulas, and obviously the Excel capabilities, the Excel native formulas. So from the data, from here, I loaded the data into PowerPivot, right? Which is PowerPivot, clicked on Manage, and the data is right here in PowerPivot. You can see that the events table is right here. And I was talking about the calendar table, which I did not speak about that in the first few minutes of the video. And the calendar table is linked to my events table because I wanted to do some date-based calculations and time intelligent calculations. So you can see that the calendar table is linked to my events table. I'm just going to minimize that. From this PowerPivot, I created two simple pivot tables. So I put the date right here, and I put the task name, the total events, and the total spend right here. Now, this is not a field. This is actually a measure. So if you just take a look at the task name, it's actually a measure. You can take a look at all these measures, specifically where you see FX, FX, FX. These are all measures. So I made a measure for task name, I made a measure for total events, I made a measure for total spent. Now the problem is that I have the monthly task depending upon a slicer. So there's a slicer created here. So this slicer is connected to this pivot table. And when I slice any particular month there, this pivot table gets sliced. But the problem is that how do I bring this in a calendar format? So this is where I use the Excel based formulas and Excel based visualizations to bring it into a more calendarized format, right? So I hope you understood this pivot table. You can just take a look at all the measures that I've used. Just right click on the measure and then click on edit measure and take a look at the DAX formula, the DAX code used here. All right. So, and then I made a small aggregated table where I have the total spent, I have the spent last month, growth or fall, total events last month, and all that kind of stuff that you saw in the calendar dashboard, which was on the right hand side. This entire little piece of work is right here, right? This is where it's going there. So these are nothing but all the measures. You can just take a look at the measures and you will, if you know the DAX formula language, you'll probably understand that. All right, now let's just take a look at how did I kind of bring these raw pivot tables into a more calendarized fashion like this. Alright, so let me just go to the calculations sheet and let's just take a look. The first thing that I did was I created a calendar based on this pivot table. So if the first date was August, I had to create an August calendar. If the first date was September, I had to create the September calendar or September month's calendar. So there was this small array formula here. This array formula is used to create a small calendar. All that it gives you is the sequential dates. So the first it starts with August, and the day before that is 31st July, and it just goes up till 10th of September because there could be 5 weeks or so spilling over into the next week as well. So that's how it is. Once I got the calendar, then I wrote a simple lookup formula to find out if there was an activity done on that particular date in this particular pivot table, right here. And if the activity is found, I pull up the activities right here from the pivot table, and then I also pull up the cost of that activity on that particular date. But as of now, these don't look like calendars because this is separate and this is separate, so I still have to make it look like a calendar. The next thing that I do is, like, I form like a calendar right here. So you can see that I've formed a calendar and I've combined two things. I've combined the date, I've combined the date here, that's the date, and I've combined the activity. Because this activity is blank, so it's not showing anything, on the 1st of August it has combined the date, and it has also combined what activity did I do on that. And then I used a simple, like a text function to kind of judge what day is it. I've made the calendar in such a way that my week always starts with Monday. All right, so that's how the calendar is made. And once I have this created, I'm gonna select this range and I'm gonna use a camera tool to take a photo of it and make it dynamic. So you can see that I have called this range as gal range, and I've just taken a picture of that, and the picture is stuck on my dashboard, right? So this slicer is going to affect this pivot table then affects the lookups. The calendar is created, and the picture of the calendar then updates back on the screen here. And these metrics are nothing but dynamic text boxes, so I've just used a text box to link it back to the pivot table right here, and this is created right here. All right, now comes the last part here, which is the table that I have created. In this table, this is nothing but actually a pivot table. So if I just click here, you can see that the pivot table field gets popped up, but I've kind of formatted it to make it not look like a pivot table, right? Now, if you would like to learn all the tactics that I have used in this dashboard in detail, I'm going to leave you links to specific strategies of learning different aspects of the dashboard. So let's say, for example, if you don't know how to use maybe a camera tool, so I'm just going to leave you a link for that. If you don't know how to make your pivot tables look like this, I'm just going to leave you a link for that. For all these text boxes, I'm just going to leave you a link. So every single part of the dashboard, I'm just going to leave you a link in underneath the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, you will have to go to my blog and take a look at all the links there, and then you'll find all the links for different parts of the dashboard as to how can you make it. That is how I created the dashboard. In case you have any questions around that, or you have any suggestions around that, please do let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Thanks so much for watching this, and do take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.